how would you deal with Putin right now? And is he on your radar?
Absolutely, and so is China, for that matter. We have to, if we're strong and we're respected, Russia and Putin will respond in kind. If we're weak and vacillating, they'll do the same. They'll respond to that. That's how bullies operate particularly. They'll take advantage. Putin is a ruthless pragmatist. He will identify what the costs are for any action, and if he thinks he can get bigger benefit out of it than what the downside is, he'll take action. A month and a half ago, I was in Europe, and every day I was there was another act of provocation by Russia. A Russian jet flying too close to a commercial aircraft, or a vessel, a Russian Navy vessel telling a Swedish cable layer that they had to leave the premises. They were laying cable for a transmission line to Lithuania. Every place I went, there was another act like this, and it's partially, not exclusively, partially because they don't think there's any consequence to doing this. So the United States, in concert with allies, in this case with NATO, needs to stand tall. I think we need to arm the Ukrainian army. We need to provide support for the ongoing reforms in the Ukraine. We need to provide some direct support through NATO and through our own efforts to forward lean in Eastern Europe. That's the kind of signal. And then say in advance what we would do if Russia does attacks a Baltic nation. We have to be clear about this. It's not to provoke war, it's to prevent it, that those things are important.
4 years ago, President Obama mocked Governor Romney when he said that Russia was...
Yeah. He was totally cocky, totally wrong.
Romney was right?
Mitt Romney was completely right, and look how it plays out. The grandiosity of the reset button with Hillary Clinton there talking, jokingly referring to this. We abandoned the missile defense capabilities and radar capabilities in the Czech Republic and Poland. We call Russia the JV team, or a regional power, and 30 days later they invade Crimea with very little consequence. This is the presidency of Barack Obama. It's big on words, very little on action, and he's leaving the world less safe for sure.
Any idea what Putin's doing in the Arctic area?
Look, there's vast natural resources there.
Who owns that? Whose is that?
That's in dispute, and we have a claim. So does Canada. So does Russia. I think China has a claim in it as well, and those that are most aggressive, think that they're going to have the better advantage. This is why American leadership matters. We just can't withdraw from the world.
Israel. What's going on between the President and Prime Minister Netanyahu?
This president has managed to personalize this as a problem between him and Bibi Netanyahu. I don't think any president should personalize anything as it relates to foreign policy. There should be no gap between Israel and the United States. This alliance is hugely important, not only to protect Israel and to protect ourselves. It also sends a signal for the rest of the Middle East. What I hear from people in the Middle East is, if Israel can't get a good deal from Washington, D.C., how are we going to get a good deal? If you think about how that plays out, it plays out in the wrong way. That's a bad ending for the United States. It means that the Russians will get back in play in the Middle East. It'll mean much more instability. It may mean that the Persian Gulf nations with vast resources may consider the need to build nuclear capabilities to match that of Iran. And so the U.S.-Israeli relationship should be a take-it-to-the-bank one. Take you back when my dad was president, we had the Gulf War. Israel and the United States had a very strong relationship, but we had conflicts about the settlements, if you recall. But the personal animus that might have existed was put aside because this relationship was hugely important. And Israel took Scud missiles for 3 or 4 days before the United States effectively took out that capability. Had Israel acted in its national security, which they had every right to do, it would have ruined the coalition that made Operation Desert Storm such a huge success. And so that kind of relationship, putting aside personal differences, is what we need. And look, you can't personalize everything as president. It makes no sense to do it, and it's not in our national security interest to do so.